What's up, everybody? This is Brad, and it's a new year, and there's lots of games to look forward to coming out this year. Which ones are the most interesting? Well, I'm about to give you my top 5 most anticipated games of 2024. Keep in mind, this is just a personal list, and these aren't really in any real particular order. Multiverse has had a strong start, not technically a new game, but it was one of the most played games on Steam when it launched. However, when it shut down recently, it had next to no players active at all. Seems that people really lost interest in this Smash Brothers adjacent game, and I can't say I blame them. From what little I played of Multiverses, while it was still fun, it just didn't really feel right. In my opinion, a game like Flash Party actually felt more like Smash Brothers than this did. And while I kind of praised the free-to-play aspect of the game, and I do think that helped it get that big first initial push of players, I don't think that having to play over and over again just to earn the points to unlock the rest of the roster to use, I think that wore on people a little bit. I don't think people want to have to grind to unlock your roster. You know? If there was like a base version of the game where you could pay for it and then the main roster would be unlocked and then do like DLC packs, sort of like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl did, I think more people would have stuck with the game a little longer. I think it also sat wrong with people that this was treated as, or the time it was open, or the time it was active, was treated like an open beta, even though they had battle passes in the game that they were selling to people. So when they shut that down, even though people still could play the game offline and they had access to the stuff they had paid for, it still kind of rubbed people the wrong way. And I do think that it's kind of messed up that they were selling battle passes for a game that, in their own words, was not officially released yet. Still, I also think, before we move on, the lack of one-player content, it seemed like there was talk of a story mode, a one-player story mode coming to the game, and that just never happened. Plus, they stopped adding characters to the game after a little while. They added a few, but it just seemed like their interest in the game just completely died out. I felt like the game had just kind of been abandoned in a way. So, not really sure what was happening on the development end there, but hopefully when the game relaunches this year, they've sworn that it will come back and they will have a better plan for the game when it does come back. So I'm hopeful that a relaunch will be successful and there will be enough new content when they do to pull me back in. So I'm wishing them luck. I would love to see more games thrive with Smash Brothers now, with the future of that series, in limbo. Nobody knows if there's going to be a Smash game or not in the future. So, or at least one with Sakurai at the helm. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl took their success and made an entirely new sequel that looks much better than the first, has a much bigger roster than the first, and they've already announced their first wave of DLC for the game, as well as revealing that there's going to be more DLC to come in the future. So, Nick All-Star Brawl 2 could have a truly massive roster. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, good luck to the Multiverses devs. Can't wait to see the game back. Pal World was actually supposed to launch last year, but it never did. It got pushed back. But they did manage to find a place in the Summer Games Fest, and I think they even got interviewed by Game Informer. So there's a lot of interest in this game, I think. I think the absurdity of these creatures that look almost exactly like Pokemon, and some of them are clearly just 2 or 3 different Pokemon designs mashed together. I still can't believe Game Freak, the Pokemon company, or Nintendo hasn't shut them down, but if they've already gotten so much attention that they were able to be a part of the Summer Games Fest, I feel like that's just means that it's definitely going to come out. This game is real. Not that it wasn't real, but it's going to happen. And I'm really excited to play the game. Like I said, it's an absurd concept, but it looks like it could be so entertaining that it's become a game I'm just really interested in. I don't want to say obsessed because I'm not really paying attention to the trailer drops and all this stuff, but it is one of my most anticipated games. It was last year as well, and hopefully this year we'll finally get to play the game. Dragon Ball fans are going to get a little bit of a taste of the past, as we're getting Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which will take the series back to its Tenkaichi Budokai, or Budokai Tenkaichi, I think it's actually Budokai Tenkaichi, days. The big arena brawler with the arenas that will crumble under the weight and just sheer might of your beam struggles and the massive transformations. They've already promised that this game will have probably the largest roster in Dragon Ball game history. And we know how the old Tenkaichi Budokai games were, or Budokai Tenkaichi, whichever one it was. Every other form was also a roster. There were like 4 or 5 different versions of Goku. And I can't say I wasn't a fan of that line of games. I think it would be interesting for them to maybe bring back the Budokai series. Budokai was a very successful series. I think people still love Budokai 3. So who knows, maybe they will bring us a new Budokai game. I know that Fighters was very popular and all, and they could always do a sequel to that. I mean, I still think it would be a really good idea for Shonen Jump to just do a Fighters style game with all of their properties. Instead of trying to do Jump Force again, just make a traditional fighting game that has all these different characters in it. I think that would be much more appealing to people than whatever Jump Force was trying to do. So, anyway, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. I think this game looks more like the anime than even Fighters did. I mean, some of these shots look like they could have been taken from 2 of the more recent movies, the Dragon Ball Super Broly or superhero movies. The CGI in those movies, or specifically Broly, at times did look pretty close to the anime. There were times where it stood out a little bit, but this game really is blurring that line between 3D and 2D in a way that even Fighters couldn't quite nail down. So, very excited about that game. Remakes of the classic Paper Mario games have kind of been floating around for a while, and I never really expected them to do that. But Nintendo surprised us with Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake, and it looks really good. I love the original Paper Mario. I played it last year on the channel in full thanks to Nintendo Switch Online, and I already had started planning Paper Mario's Thousand Year Door run for the channel. But that was before I saw this, and now I think when I do decide to play the Thousand Year Door, it will be the remake first. Maybe later I'll play the original one. But, yeah, this looks like they have taken great care to preserve the game's, again, charm. I've said charm and personality a lot in this video and my top 5 gaming moments from 2023 video, but personality and charm are, I think, what sells a lot of video games. Sometimes not just about like how, you know, the controls of the game. Sometimes just a game just needs to look fun. It looks the way a remake of classic Paper Mario should look. It looks nice and flashy and new, but there's still enough of that OG Paper Mario look to it that it doesn't like. It doesn't look like the Origami King. So I think that's a plus for it. Not to knock on the Origami King. So, but I do like what it looks like they've done with the game. It looks like it'll be a lot of fun to play, and it looks really good. I think this one might be my most anticipated game for the year. I didn't expect a Princess Peach game to be revealed last year at all. But looking at the way that Peach controls and all the different game modes that Princess Peach Showtime might have, and that it looks like maybe these different costume power-ups for her might change the style of gameplay for her, that's really interesting to me. Like, is this gonna, like, go up to, like, am I gonna put this on par with maybe Super Mario Odyssey or Mario 64 or Mario 3? Probably not. But to say that this Princess Peach game is, you know, just I don't know. I'm really interested in this game and want to see exactly how it plays. Will these power-ups be limited to certain areas of the game, or are they interchangeable? Like, that's what's really gonna sell the game, in my opinion. If you have to swap between power-ups and figure out which power-up will get you to the next area, you know, that's going to be interesting. Or the power-ups locked to certain, you know, areas. Is it going to be like more like a mini game type of situation? But I'm really excited to play the game. I want to see how they handle this, because the last Princess Peach game, her powers were like crying and getting mad. I don't think anybody wants to play another Princess Peach game where her powers are her emotions. So, or her being too emotional. So, this is already a big step up, and if the power-ups can be used in an interesting way, then this could be a sleeper title. This could be a lot of people's game of the year. So, I want to keep my eye on Princess Peach Showtime, and I've got high hopes for it. And those are my top 5 most anticipated games for 2024. Let me know what you guys think. What are your top 5 most anticipated games for the year? Do you have any that you agree with me? Or are there some unknown games out there? Maybe some lesser known titles coming up, some indie games that people are sleeping on. Let me know in the comments, like and subscribe, check out my other videos, and I hope you'll stick around as we check out some of these games when they do finally drop through the year. Till then, we'll see you later.